Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome back to my F1 25 My Team Career Mode. We are heading for the Japanese Grand Prix, but first, I am equipping some upgrades to Zane Maloney's car. Tim Tramnitz will have them as soon as possible, but we are prioritising Zane Maloney with these upgrades. He's got another upgrade coming to the car now, as you can see. And in terms of research and development, it's full speed ahead, and we're going as quickly as we can. We've unlocked a dual development on the research for the aerodynamics, which is a good thing, and we've also unlocked a training point. So things are starting to move in a positive direction, but it's gonna be slow progress, and it's gonna take a while to get us to where we want to be. But it's all part of the grind. Anyway, without further ado, let's head to the race weekend. And as we raced as Tim Tramnitz last time out, this weekend we are going to be racing as Zane Maloney. Here we go then, time to begin the race weekend.
A warm welcome everybody from a venue that has seen plenty of sensational laps over the years. Remember Verstappen in 23, Vettel in 2019, some phenomenal pole laps. But whose will it be today?
It is lashing down with rain for qualifying here at Suzuka, but it means I get to do a couple of wet weather laps, and my goodness, the car, it's so slippery in these conditions, and it's very hard to find grip, so easy to understeer. It's all about picking the right specific moment to go down on the power, and we didn't really find it there. And I'm trying to slowly navigate the first sector, but we're just struggling to find where the grip is. And on our first lap in these conditions, it doesn't surprise me that we are pretty slow at this stage. Tramnitz at the moment P12. This is going to be P14, which I think will go on to be P22 and last, because this lap has been really slow. And in fact, we're over a second and a half slower than our teammate Tramnitz, and we're trying to find a bit more time on our second lap, and in fact we have already found a second and a half, and the longer I keep going, the more I find I'm finding this time. But this is a second lap and we've found 2 seconds already. So what I'm going to do at the end of this one is box and then have a full go at another flying lap if we can. But at the moment that moves me into P20, which will not be enough to get into Q3. However, one final go. We've had a poor first sector and it's been an okay second sector. We're only a 10th up, so we need to find a bit more, and that's what I'm trying to do as we head into the chicane. There is time to be gained here, as I've got it a bit wrong on the first couple of laps. No drama there though, we're nearly 7/10 up. Surely this is going to be enough to move us up, but in the end it's only enough for P21. Wow, both H2O cars on the back row, and if we hadn't had such a shoddy first sector, I feel like maybe we might have slotted between Sainz and Bortoletto. But our first experience of the rain, yeah, here's hoping for the race we can do better.
No fewer than 12 world champions have been crowned at Suzuka, but who will be tasting glory today at the checkered flag? We're approaching lights out, and we can't wait for the Japanese Grand Prix. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Antonelli and Alex Albon, Gasly, Lawson, Nico Hülkenberg and Stroll, Doohan, Behrman, Carlos Sainz and Gabriel Bortoleto, Ocon, Hadjar, Maloney and Tim Tramnitz rounds off the grid. And alongside me today,
it's the Japanese Grand Prix on the grid from P21. Surely we can do better than that in the race. And we're underway, and I tell you what, Ocon is not off at all. He was very slow off the line. One of the Williams also not really getting underway. We're making so many points on the left-hand side, and we're still trying to go around the outside. Where are we going to be? We're going to be P17, I want to say 16, as we're fighting it out with Lance Stroll on our right. And no, it's going to be P16, so it's 5 places gained off the start. And Hadjar now having a go where Stroll failed, but Hadjar not able to get through. So we're up 5 places with a really good start. We just stayed left and gained places pretty effortlessly, if I'm being honest with you. And now we're having a look at making up a place on Jack Doohan into Kobayashi corner. If we make, yeah, that's going to be straightforward because everyone backs up there on the first lap. So getting down the inside of Doohan, relatively straightforward on lap 1 of 27 in this Japanese Grand Prix. So a good move to start with. And now we're trying to chase down Ollie Behrman and Nico Hülkenberg. Well, that's not going to help. We nearly go into him there. But we did touch a bit of the grass on the right-hand side. Don't want to be doing that too many times and getting all kinds of muck on our tyres. Heading into Spoon, right behind Behrman. Well, I say right behind, it's about half a second behind Ollie Behrman in the Haas. But we go a bit wide on the exit there. And they've got a bit more traction than we do. As we head now to complete the second lap. Is there a move on round the outside of Behrman on the exit of the chicane? Yes, there is. Behrman got really backed up there. And we just find room to make the overtake round the outside with such confidence. And we move up into P14, sorry, ahead of Oliver Behrman. Now Nico Hülkenberg becomes our next target. But he's having a look at Pierre Gasly, who I think has just been passed by what I assume is Liam Lawson. So Gasly in P12, he's dropping back and he might be vulnerable. In fact, both him and Hülkenberg might be vulnerable. And this is Oscar Piastri going for P2 on Yuki Tsunoda. Max Verstappen, who's done well so far this season, down in P6. So it's not Max Verstappen's day. Piastri got past Tsunoda, and here's Tsunoda passing him back and moving into P2. So there's a fun little battle that's going off at the moment as we now prepare to shape up on Pierre Gasly on the main straight. And here we go, lining him up, using DRS, using overtake, using a slipstream. Gasly goes to defend, but there's nothing he can really do about that. And we move ourselves into 13th. Gasly trying to have a look on the exit of the corner, but it just didn't work out. And we're now trying to stretch away from Gasly, but he's following me quite close. So if we don't break the second DRS zone, we might be vulnerable. And vulnerable we are, because here comes Pierre Gasly. I go to defend, but what could I have done about that? Gasly just blasting straight back past. And retaking P13. We're down to P14 once again as I now chase down Gasly to try and find a way past him. But into the pits we come at the end of lap 9, cementing it as a 2-stop race for us, leaving the pits with no drama.
You only have to stop once now. 1 stop left.
Back onto the circuit we go then. We're behind Charles Leclerc and Tim Tramnitz, who if he could just back things up for me a bit, that would be appreciated. Tramnitz obviously after the points finish in the last race. Just not happening for him, but I think whoever the AI controls, they're going to struggle a bit for the first few races while we try and move this car forwards. While the upgrades are there, I don't feel like they're doing quite as much as I initially hoped they would. But it's a long season and we're in it for the long haul. Right, we're in P13 on lap 12, going round Spoon Curve. I'm a little bit on my own here as we hit the apex. We've hit the gravel and round we go and into the wall! Losing a front wing, and that brings out the safety car. Oh, a little lapse in concentration there, leading me into the gravel and the slightest touch, putting me straight into the barrier. And that has put us out of the race. The safety car is out, but he's going to be coming in. I've pitted in for hard tyres. Nobody else really pitted in. And while all this is cracking off, Max Verstappen is pulling out of the race. The championship leader, and he is out.
Make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags. Okay, information on Verstappen. Okay, they're out.
So pitting onto hards could actually help us here, because nobody else has made their second pit stop. So we could be looking pretty good here from a safety car that was caused by our own mistake. Let's see how this plays out. The race now resumes on lap 16 with 12 laps to go. And ooh, what's going on there? Is there a yellow flag, or is that the one for Max? I think that might just be the yellow flag that's still out for Max, but it's green flag racing now as we head through the first sector. Tramnitz is backing up Isaac Hadjar for us very nicely, and I'm just waiting for Kobayashi corner, because I think if we brake late enough we might be able to take the pair of them. Heading into the Degners, look how much we're closing just on turning speed alone. It makes me wonder, as Tramnitz had maybe a little clip of someone and done a little bit of damage. Down the inside we go. Hadjar, easy pickings, and Tramnitz, well, not able really to fight us off too much as we move into P19, and we're slowly moving forwards as drivers are starting to pit. And we're now having a look at Lance Stroll. Can we pull off the same move again? Not really, but we're now getting alongside Stroll down the straight, side by side as more cars pit, and we get ahead of Lance Stroll. And we're now into the top 10. The points paying positions, but it's getting even better because more cars are pitting. How far up are we going to go? This is Ollie Behrman. He's currently in P3 because he hasn't stopped yet. In he comes. Alonso ahead of us is in the pit, as is Lando Norris. Unbelievable scenes here as we now take the lead of this Japanese Grand Prix as we pitted under the safety car when nobody else did, and as a result the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix is ours. Lando Norris is 4 seconds behind, but he's gonna catch that pretty darn quick. And here comes Lando Norris now having a look down the inside of Spoon. I'm trying to fight him off. I don't know why I'm fighting it so hard, but you know what? I'm thinking all or nothing here. Let's try and land a big result. Yes, okay, I could let these guys go through and think of maximising what could be a good points finish. Nah, I want to go bold. I want to go all out to try and get the win, or at least a podium here. That is my target. And now we begin lap 23, but look at this, we're a sitting duck. Norris to the inside. I can't really fight him off there. Norris taking the lead, but he's gone a bit deep, and I'm trying it. No! Oh, that was ambition ahead of adhesion, and we rejoin, and we take out Piastri and Leclerc. Oh, what happened there? Let's have a look. Norris trying to get through. I'm trying to force him tight. And you got Tsunoda behind trying to find a way through. And then I just brake super late. And yeah, that was so ambition ahead of adhesion there. And unfortunately, as we try and recover it, we wipe out Leclerc and Piastri, and we get a 5-second time penalty for the troubles, and we've got a red flag. So that's gonna bunch the pack up, and yeah, I think that pretty much guarantees a finish outside of the points for us. But let's see what the damage is. I do feel a bit silly on that one, but I wanted to try it. I wanted to go for it. I wanted to go all or nothing, and sometimes when you do that, you suffer the consequences. We're back underway here at Suzuka. Lando Norris away well. We're going to slot into second place, but don't forget we've got that 5-second time penalty, and we don't really have enough pace in the car to create a gap to those behind. So unfortunately, it's going to be a case of, are we even going to get points here? I'm not sure, but I'm going to try and see what we can do. And as we start the final lap, through goes Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin up into P2. Fernando doing a superb job here. Tsunoda trying to find a way through and get himself a home podium, but ultimately not finding a way through just there. But he's going to be on the podium anyway, because like I said, we've got a penalty, and that was very much deserved. I think for the lunge on Lando Norris. I mean, that was always a gap that was going to close, but I think I caught myself out braking that late, and then when I realised I broke that late, I had to commit to trying the move, or just go into him and lose my front wing, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for us. And then as we recovered, bad went to worse, and we recovered into the path of 2 cars, got a penalty, which I admit I deserve. That was just bad all round. I hold my hands up and take full accountability for that. And we crossed the line 4th on the road, but it's going to be 14th. And to be honest, given the fact that we were lucky with the safety car coming out anyway, after my first driver of the day! What is this game smoking? Whatever it's smoking, I want some.
Norris as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
From lights out to the checkered flag, each and every driver has this moment in the back of their mind. Now it's time for their celebrations. Our podium, it awaits. He holds the trophy aloft, and why shouldn't he? A richly deserved win today for Lando Norris. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
I'm really not sure about driver of the day. All I can say is I am so sorry. I think I surprised myself with how late I braked into one, and by that point, I had to sort of commit to it. I had to commit to going for the move, and it really didn't work out at all. And then just as I was trying to recover, I ended Leclerc and Piastri's race. So the penalty very much deserved. The punishment fits the crime. And any luck that I gained from crashing and losing my front wing anyway, we've lost. So it would have been a bit ill-gotten if we had gotten a big result from crashing, bringing out a safety car, and getting quite fortunate with the strategy. So, yeah. But the championship standings, Verstappen is leading by 3 points. So that gap has come down after a great race from Norris. Look at Yuki Tsunoda up there in P3 in the standings, doing a stunning job. Meanwhile, we've dropped quite far back in the championship now, with Tim Tramnitz still being our only driver to have scored points. Leclerc and Hamilton 4th and 5th in the standings. Then Russell, Piastri, Alonso, Gasly and Albon completing the top 10 in the championship. And let's just scroll down now. So yeah, there we go. We are currently 17th, along with Lance Stroll, who also has a point. Kimi Antonelli and Ollie Berman being on the same points. Wow, that's not something I had on the bingo card. And we currently sit 10th in the constructors standings on that solitary point, with 10 teams scoring after 3 races. That's pretty impressive. Now all we need is VCarb to score. Well, thank you for watching this installment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. Until the next time, I have been Joe. I'm gonna deliver better in Bahrain. But thank you for watching. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day.